PSG wins 3-2 in Metz, but let's be honest, this was far from a comfortable night. Paris took control early, showed real attacking quality in places, but once again made life harder than it needed to be. A Metz side that never gave up turned this into a stressful finish. So tonight, we'll break down what PSG did well, what went wrong, and what this match tells us about where this team really stands right now. Because yes, 3 points are 3 points, but not all wins feel the same. All right, FC Metz PSG 3-2 for PSG. The win. For me, that's really what I want to take away from this game. And I feel very validated because the preview that I did yesterday, I was kind of listing all of the reasons why this game could go wrong for us. And honestly, like, as I was posting that video, I was asking myself, like, oh, am I like too pessimistic? Am I too harsh? Have I like too low expectations of this PSG team? I've been generally like trying to be a good supporter and list out the reasons why we're not as dominant as we've been in the past. All of the things that go against us in this first half of the season. But at the same time, like, you're playing the team that's bottom last of Ligue 1. Your PSG, you need the win. And so as I was like doing that preview video and considering all of the reason why this game could turn against us, ultimately it's the kind of game where we need to get away with the 3 points. Whatever happens in the game, whatever the team opposite us does, we need to take the 3 points. And really, like, I think that's really the main question mark for this debrief. It's like, I say a well-thought win because, yes, as I feared, it was not an easy game. It did not look like the last of Ligue 1 against the first of Ligue 1. And first, like, kudos to Metz because I think, Metz showed some real fighting spirit, showed some real intentions. They didn't give up. They went like 2 goals down, got one back, 2 goals down, got one back, fought it till the bitter end to try to get the draw. And honestly, like, showed a lot more quality than what you'd expect from the team ranked at the bottom of the table. And so for PSG, once again, and like I said in the preview, coming out of a Champions League game with a rotated squad, fitness, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, we had to work for it. And we did put in the work. We managed to score 3 goals. We managed to, we conceded 2, honestly, like 2 really good goals from Metz. And I think like 2 goals that I see like the little places where we went wrong on them and how we could have saved them. But at the same time, like, really hard goals to defend. And in the end, yes, like, we were less than comfortable for the last 10 minutes where Metz tried to apply a lot of pressure. But at the same time, like, I wasn't comfortable because, like, I don't want to lie here and say, oh yeah, like, we were like putting pressure, but we were fine. But at the same time, it never felt like we completely lost control of the game. And it never felt like they were really like putting the screws on us. And so, like, even in the last minute when they apply a lot of pressure, where they have a couple of opportunities and so on, it never feels like, like we're ever completely out of positions, like we're completely out of control. When like, and like, yeah, like, so in the end, like, we get the win. Yes, sure, I wish it had been like 3-0 and more comfortable, and we had been like 3-0 up from the 15th minute and sleeping through the rest of the game. But at the same time, like, yeah, it's football. There's an opposing team who's trying to do the best that they can. And in this case, they did, but I don't think we ever completely lost track. So it's a bit hard for me. I'll be honest, because my personal instinct is to say, like, hey, the win's a win. We get the win 3-2. We rotated our team, and a lot of players like got a little bit of rest and so on. And so that's all that matters. And at the same time, like, I hear a lot of criticism that this isn't the kind of result and the kind of performance that we should be expecting of ourselves. And like, I hear that, But honestly, like, yeah, I'll take the win. Like, what matters to me was, the game against Bilbao 3 days ago and the game against Flamengo 3 days from now. Games like that are a lot more impactful, or at least like a lot more impactful than us winning like 3-2 versus 3-0. And so yeah. And so yes, like this PSG team is not as controlling and as dominant as it should be in a game like this and against such opposition. But at the same time, they do enough. They do enough. And so, like, what do you want? It's not like, regardless of the circumstances, and the circumstances are one thing, and we've talked about injuries and fitness and blah blah. I'm not going to get into that. But regardless of that, it's not the time of the year, and it's not the game where you want to be like at your absolute peak and ultra dominant. That's just the reality of it. This is a game where you want to be starting some TTs, when you want to give them some game time, where you want to be rotating your team and having some substitute on the field. It's a game where you want to be playing Ramos up front and giving him some game time. And so with all of this in mind, yeah, sure, like you still have Pacho, you still have Vitinha, you still have even our substitute, our amazing players who'd be starters in Metz, no question. But the reality is there, it's a game that you want to win. Ideally, you want to win it comfortably, but like the only thing that matters is the win, and that's where we got here. So in terms of actual performances, TT watch, because like that was one of the big ones, and I think like one of the real bright spots of this game. Mbaye comes away with 2 assists and 1 shot on the crossbar that really could have easily been a goal. Njantou scores his first ever goal with the first team, which is an amazing moment, obviously, and something that he's going to remember for the rest of his life. Sadly, like Mayulu came down with something like just on the day of the game, and so he couldn't play. And I think he would have played instead of Warren Zaïre-Emery, who's actually like, I hate to say, but like Warren Zaïre-Emery might actually be the more disappointing of the 3, which is just a weird thing to have happened. But I think the second goal of Metz is actually largely on him. And there's a couple of places in the second half and towards the end of the game where you can see he's probably getting a bit tired, and I hope we can rotate him at some point. And yeah, like he lets like the Metz winger like run past him, try to catch up with him. Like that's the first time where it happens, and he actually like falls him when he gets close to the area, gets a yellow card. Then the second time he gets like dribbled past. And ultimately, like Metz combines in our area, it's like works really well for them. But yeah, Warren Zaïre-Emery is at the beginning of it and in a negative way. So yeah, too bad for him. I hope Mayulu is not like too bad or anything, and he can probably not play in Warren Zaïre-Emery's place in against Flamengo, but at the very least take the French Cup game 3 days after that, so in a week's time. Beyond that, yeah, honestly, like I was really happily impressed with Mbaye, who's actually like caught a lot of criticism for his some of his early performances. That he was a bit neutral, that he wasn't really like that impressive, creating that much, and so on. And I think since he went with the Senegalese national team, he really turned up a notch. And he gets 2 assists in this game. He's creating a lot of differences on the wings. He almost scores a goal, which he would have been like very well deserved. And in the end, like I'm not saying he was the best player of our attacking lineup, because Kangin Lee did very well. Ramos actually had a very, very decent game, borderline good. So it's not like Mbaye was miles ahead, but he was definitely also like not miles behind those players. And I think at his age, it's a really strong performance. It's great to see we can count on him in these kind of games, at least to be able to perform. Then the next one, Quentin Njantou, like I said, he scored his first ever professional goal. So big thing for him. I be honest, like I think the rest of the game was not as strong. There's some good things. There's some times where he kind of disappears from the game. It's still very uneven. Yeah, you can feel that like the roadway ahead of him is maybe a little bit longer, and he does need to train more, to evolve more, and to really like improve his game in a lot of areas. But yeah, he scored a goal, and it's like it always makes me like not laugh, but like it's always on my mind with Engine 2 is that with the academy teams and with the U19 and so on, he was playing as a false nine, and yet like every time Luis Enrique plays him, he plays him in the midfield. So nothing on Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique does that with the youngsters. He plays them in all sorts of positions, so they get a feel for how the team works and the different roles and so on. But Engine 2, like I'm really not sure whether like midfield is really going to be the position for him in the long run. And you know, when I see the goal, he makes a run and positions himself in a way which is, you know, really strong of for a false nine and really reminiscent of that. And so I think, you know, with all of the struggles that we've had at this particular position, I don't entirely understand like why we don't play him there a bit more. That's just me, but hopefully he learns in midfield and he continues to develop and he can command more game time and improve on his performances. Because yeah, there's definitely something there. There's talent there. What's next? Yeah, win's a win. We're like right now top of Ligue 1. Lens is playing today. They're playing at home against Nice. Nice is in complete disarray, but obviously still a difficult team to play against. I honestly like. I hope I'm a supporter, so that's my hope. But I wouldn't be entirely surprised to see Lens take a little tumble here, which then would mean that we end up like top of the league for the holidays. No drama if it doesn't. Obviously, like it'd be comfortable to go through the new year on top of the table. And yeah, I wouldn't entirely be surprised. I think Lens has been overperforming for quite some time. If I'm honest, they play very well. They completely deserve, you know, the good results and so on. But yeah, against if you remember, like the Nice game in the Parc des Princes when they parked the bus like nothing we've ever seen before. If Nice goes to Lens and puts up something like this, like Lens won't be able to break past them. Like simply put, like they won't be able to. They've got a lot of talent, they've got a lot of great players, they're doing well, and so but like that was rough. And Nice on their side, they go from defeat to defeat to defeat. So I don't have much hope for them. But like I said, like there is individual quality there, there is tactical quality there. As much as I hate to admit, because it's not my kind of football, but yeah. So I wouldn't be entirely surprised. If it happens, all the best for us. If it doesn't, like, you know, we'll go past Lens at some point, hopefully. So yeah. And then, like, the closing game of the Ligue 1 day is going to be Marseille at home against Monaco. And, you know, how delicious would it be to have Marseille 7 points behind us at the end of the year for a team that was supposed to be challenging for the title, who like, you know, beat us and was gonna like get one over PSG and so on. So like, it'd be like a little bit delicious. Monaco has been very inconsistent, but they've managed to get a win against us. It is a regional derby for them. Yeah, who knows? For PSG anyway. For us, we're going to turn our focus to the Intercontinental Cup to be played in Qatar on Wednesday. I think I want to say Wednesday, 7 p.m. French time. Let me check that at the same time. That game will be against Flamengo of Brazil, who beat Pyramids, like the African champions, 2-0. Yeah, Wednesday, 7 p.m. So they beat Pyramids 2-0. We'll do a full preview and like we'll have time to talk about this game and so on. But Flamengo is it's going to be a tough opponent. It's going to be a really interesting matchup. If you remember, like Flamengo managed to get a 3-1 win against Chelsea in the Club World Cup. They lost in the knockout round to Bayern Munich, but in a game that was honestly like very hard fought and where they really challenged Bayern. So I'm like going into it thinking we're going to be favorites, but absolutely not expecting an easy game, and it's going to be one like Champions League level, if not quarterfinal of the Champions League kind of level. So we're really gonna have to bring out our A game. Really gonna have to bring out like some of our top players. But there's a very historic trophy to get our hands on, and one that I really want, and I think the players really want as well. So that's gonna be interesting for us. And then we'll come back to France to end the year with the French Cup tie against Vendée Fontenay. So this is what I had for you guys on this Metz debrief. 3-2, the win. I'll take the 3 points. It's our last game of the season. Let's cross our fingers that we see a long stumble and we keep our spot on the top of the league table. And then let's turn our attention and travel to Doha for this matchup against Flamengo, this final of the Intercontinental Cup, and hopefully, make it 6. It's our opportunities to cap this year with a historic 6 trophies in a year for PSG, which would be an amazing achievement in world football, and one that this team and this coach thoroughly deserve as well. So we'll be talking about this. In the meantime, let me know in the comment what you thought of this Metz game. Who here is on the side of PSG should have controlled this game more and should have done better and made this easier on themselves? Who here is on kind of my side, I would say, of like a win's a win, and ultimately this is what it is, and we'll take the 3 points and run on to other things. And regardless of what you think, if you made it this far, please drop a like on the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to it yet. And as always, ici c'est Paris!